Alright guys, we're out today. We're going to be shooting some of this G2 Research R.I.P ammo, the R.I.P stuff. But he's shooting it out of a Smith & Wesson M&P. And we're going to be shooting 2 rounds into the ballistic gel. And then we're going to shoot 3 or 4 rounds through the chronograph just to get an idea of speed, to see if they're actually accurate on what they projected speed to be. And then we'll see how it performs in the ballistic gel as well. And here's the actual bullet here. Not sure if that's focusing or not, but that is what it looks like. So we're just going to load up 2 rounds now. I have 2 rounds in the mag, and we'll shoot it through the chronograph and into the ballistics gel, and we'll see how it performs. Alright guys, so here's the cylinder and ballet that we just shot. You can see last shot here was a 11:34, which is considerably slower than the R.I.P. The high shot was a 11:34, and what was the low? 11:35 looks like. Average was 11:34, so that was some pretty consistent ammo there. Yep, 11:34 both rounds, so pretty consistent. Alright guys, so I ended up shooting 3 shots. You can see that the petals actually did mushroom out and separate, and it did leave a pretty good wound cavity on all 3 shots. Back here in the back we have one of the actual shafts of the bullet that actually did not penetrate the full 16 inches. This is a FBI block. This is a 6x6x16. So of course we didn't have anything going through the bullet to travel through before it hit the gelatin, but not sure. I guess the other 2 blew out. Looks like one might have blew out the top and one here in the rear. We'll have to rewatch the footage to be for sure. But there's one shaft here in the end that I'm going to cut out and try to get out right here. And let me clean the gel off here. If you can see, it is right here. This is the copper shaft that's left, and it's not really deformed or anything. See where the petals broke off here? That's about it. So now we're going to go ahead and try a regular just hollow point, probably a core bond or something like that. I'm going to actually turn the block the other way, and we'll shoot a couple more rounds, and then we'll come back through and compare the cavities. Alright guys, so here's what we're going to actually be shooting to compare it to. These are hollow points as well. As you can see here, these are pretty nice cartridges. I've shot these before. And then we'll maybe try to do some hardball. I'm only going to put 2 of these through it and then 1 hardball, because the block's going to get used up pretty quick here. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright guys, so you can tell here's the standard hollow points there that I just shot, and these both stopped within the 12 or the 16 inches. Looks like they stopped probably at around 14 or so inches. So, and it did leave some pretty good cavities. Of course, we'll try to slow this down and show you guys it is not as devastating and did not dump all its energy at the beginning like the R.I.P ammo did. So, alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and try to cut one of these hollow points out here. This is probably going to be the easiest one to get to here. Let me see if I can get in there and get it. Alright, so here's what we were left with on the standard hollow points here. And you can tell it did mushroom out, that jacket mushroomed them out pretty good, and it did leave pretty good wound cavity. It does not look as devastating at the beginning here like it did in the R.I.P ammo, but I'll let you guys judge for yourself how you think it did. So now let's go ahead and try to just shoot some cool stuff and see how it performs there. Alright guys, so now we're going to be doing an interior wall test. I built 3 very quick interior walls with 1/2 inch sheet of drywall. So there's 3 interior walls, which will basically be 6 pieces of 1/2 inch drywall if it were to penetrate all the way through. We're going to be shooting the same hollow points, sealer and ballets, and the second 2 rounds will be the R.I.P ammo. I'm going to put the first 2 rounds on the right and the second 2 R.I.P rounds on the left. So let's go ahead and do that. Now let's do the 2 R.I.P rounds. Let's see how it turned out. Alright, so here's the 2 entry holes for the R.I.P rounds. Nice little group actually. And here's the 2 just standard hollow points. So let's see damage on the first wall. There's the R.I.P, there's the standard hollow points. It actually looks like the damage from the standards may have been a little better. Those are so close together on the R.I.P rounds, it's going to be really hard to tell. Here's the entries for the second interior wall. And as you can tell, the R.I.P rounds look like 1 hole there, but that's actually 2 shots. Damage looks to be about the same. It did go through 2 walls, which is there's 4 1/2 inch sheets of drywall. And here's the entry for the 3rd wall. And it looks like the R.I.P rounds may have started to actually break up a little bit on this 3rd wall. And here's the exits. Now on this 3rd wall, you can see here this R.I.P round. Those 2, I don't know where if it was so close together that it made that big of a basically an exit wound, but it's a pretty tremendous exit wound on this last wall. So it did go through 6 1/2 inch sheets of drywall pretty easily, but all the rounds did. So that's it for that test. Alright guys, now we're going to try just the standard hollow points and see what we get here. not quite as devastating. All right, I'm going to try the rip round on a watermelon. See what happens here. Pretty devastating in a watermelon. So let's go ahead and set another one up and see how we do with the standard hollow points. All right, so we're going to try basically same type of melon, basically same size, and see what happens. This is just the standard hollow point. Still pretty devastating. We'll have to go back, of course, and look on the camera, but I'll let you guys decide for yourself which one you think was more damaged. All right, guys, so this time we're doing some soda. I like orange soda as much as the next guy, but let's go ahead and see what a G2 rip round does to our orange soda here. Well, it appears to have emptied the orange soda. So, all right, so we're gonna do another G2 round, and then we're gonna do two standard hollow points in the next two 2 liters. But I figure we'll do 2 with each rounds, just so we know one's not just a fluke or whatever. So, more odds. All right, let's see what happens. All right, standard hollow point, this time into another 2 liter. See if we notice any difference. Gun is getting pretty sticky after all the melons and all the 2 liters. That last one came back and hit me right in the face. So let's see what we get out of this one. So that works pretty well. Alright guys, so I don't know how scientific it is, but they seem to be blowing up just about the same. So one more standard hollow point here into this one. Alright guys, so we got 3 containers of water here. I'm going to shoot a rip round in and see how many it penetrates. And we'll see what kind of damage, if it expends all its energy into the first carton or if it travels through. Alright, so it blew the first container completely apart. Just blew it in half, and looks like it penetrated the second, no damage. No, the third does have a hole in it as well, but it looks like the bullet may be contained in here. No, no bullet, but I don't see an exit wound, just an entry. So, not sure where it ended up at. I don't think it's in here. Oh, it is in here. I hear it. Yep, I see it. So it actually stopped in the third container. And right here is the actual copper shaft. So the petals looks like they blew off on the first jug, just like I would have expected. But it did actually penetrate through the first two jugs and stopped in the third. So, pretty cool test. The only test we got left is the meat test. And we're probably going to shoot another video at another time, shooting through a car door and probably some glass and through a solid wood home door. So let's move on to the meat. Alright guys, poultry test number 2, rip round. Let's see what we got in the rear here. That is a pretty devastating wound, guys, I'll tell you that right now. That is a hell of a wound. Alright guys, so let's try one of our standard hollow points. See what kind of wound cavity we end up with here. Pretty devastating, that's all I can say, guys. Basically, what's it boiled down to? I wouldn't want to be shot with either of them. Alright guys, this is a pork shoulder with the bone still in. So, let's see what the rip round will do to it. There's the entry. Oh my Lord. So here's the exit wound. Man guys, I know you can't see in there, but I can feel in there. It is, I mean, I could probably stick, yeah, 4 fingers deep inside the cavity of that wound. So now let's try one with the standard hollow point, see what happens. Alright guys, pork shoulder still. Standard hollow point this time. I'll try to hit it more to the right on this one. This one did get hit on the right. Okay, here is the exit wound on this one. And I can tell you this much, I know it's going to be hard to see. this wound from the RIP ammo is a lot bigger, more devastating. This one did hit bone, the standard hollow point, but so did the RIP round. Standard hollow point I can get a thumb in. I know this isn't very technical, but there's evidence of what it will do. So I'm gonna try it on a piece of metal. All right, guys, I got an 1/8 inch piece of steel, and we're gonna shoot it. First round is gonna be the RIP rounds, and the second round will be the standard hollow point. Alright guys, so I didn't have the second camera set up for that one, so I'm going to shoot both rounds again. RIP round first, standard hollow point second round. That was the RIP. You can see the entries. These are both the RIP rounds, and here are the exits for them. And a lot of guys were asking about tests for function. We've shot about 20 of these today. No problems whatsoever. Been very consistent. And guys are asking about accuracy as well. They're shooting very accurately. So now, just to compare, I'm going to shoot 2 rounds of the hollow points. And entries look very similar. And these all do appear to be blowing out through the drywall as well. So just to be consistent, we'll shoot one more of the hollow points. And as you can see, this one actually, you can see the jacket was caught inside the metal here. Alright guys, so here's that metal we were shooting. These two are the RIP rounds, blew clean through pretty easy. This one blew through too, but you can see the jacket is still in this one. And it looks like it may have actually caught the whole bullet. But yeah, these blew through a lot nicer than the RIP rounds. So do with it what you will, guys. It's up to you what you think. The ammo. We'll do some more tests in the future though. Alright guys, so I'm just gonna put a couple of RIP rounds through this 3/4 inch piece of plywood. I am out of standard hollow points, so we'll just throw a couple RIP rounds into here and see what kind of damage we get. Alright, so here's the entries and the exits. Nothing spectacular. It did create a Did create a groove into here, but nothing too spectacular. And all the rounds did exit through the walls well. So that's it for this test, guys. Alright guys, since a lot of you guys asked to shoot a cinder block, and G2 actually shoots a cinder block in one of their promo videos, I decided we'll go ahead and shoot one here. I have 2 rounds. I don't know if I'll shoot them both or not. We'll see. But let's see what it does to the cinder block here. Alright, so it actually did break through the other side. So I hit a little higher this time, because the first time I think it kind of hit here. And I found the round. It is inside here.
One is sticking in the hole.
Yeah, because it hit right here. It made a hole clean through though. Alright guys, so here's the round that was actually inside the cinder block. It did blow through the first layer of concrete. And the claims of it, the pedal's not actually severing off and staying intact until it gets through a hard layer, seems to be true because the pedals are folded back and they're still here. So pretty cool stuff. I'm going to take the camera up there and show you guys the entry and exit wounds. Okay, so here's the cinder block. You can clearly see daylight through here. The second round of the R.I.P ammo blew clean through. The first round here, the bullet is actually lodged in the hole. And that's because we actually hit the center brace here. So it could not penetrate, of course, all the way through there. But if you look through here on the rear, the exit wound here, so here's the internal damage. You can see this is the second shot right here. It blew clean through, and the first round actually did break the concrete out on the inside as well. See if I can show you that. Yeah, you can actually see the crater that it created. But I'm going to try to get that first round that I fired out. Probably going to have to get a pair of pliers or something. Nope, I mean, I'm able to pull that out with my hand here. So let me zoom out here. There's the round. You can see the pedals are folded back and still intact. So they did not break it. Hit a hard surface and mushroom just like they said. Now I'll sit down when I get home and review the video and give you my final thoughts about the ammo.
Hey guys, Daryl here with the Tactical Resistance. So you just watched the G2 Research R.I.P ammo test. We did have a few problems when we tested this ammo. One, we brought 4 cameras with us. 2, which are our primary cameras that we normally record with, and we brought 2 higher speed cameras. Both of those cameras actually had some problems, either with the memory cards in the camera or the cameras themselves, so we weren't able to use either of them, which caused us quite a bit of trouble. We went from 4 cameras to 2. But all in all, it was a good day. We feel like we got some pretty cool testing done. We will be doing more testing in the future too, so stay tuned for that. But we would like to thank a couple of people that made these tests possible. Number one, I would like to thank Ammo Zone in Flippin, Arkansas. Those guys helped track down this ammo so we could get it and bring it to you basically earlier than most other people could. So big thanks out to those guys. We really appreciate it. You can check those guys out. The link to them will be down in the description. Big shout out to Ammo Zone. The other people we'd like to thank is Clear Ballistics for helping us, basically get the FBI gel block to be able to test this ammo for you guys. Ballistic gel testing shows quite a bit, and in the video you can see that the R.I.P ammo actually dumps a lot of energy and a lot of damage, about 4 inches into soft tissue. So shout out to Clear Ballistics, thank you very much. There is a link to them also down in the description. So now let's get to talking about the ammo. Of course, here's one of the rounds. This is one of the G2 Research R.I.P rounds. Pretty cool round. Some of the claims from the manufacturer basically were kind of disproven to us, but a lot of the claims seem to be pretty legitimate. When we fired through the cinder block and also through the wood and through the metal as well, the petals actually did not break and separate like it does in soft tissue, and that's the way the manufacturer says it was designed to work, and it does appear that it actually does work that way. The petals actually stayed together. They mushroomed back just like you would find in a standard hollow point. So pretty cool that I don't know how they actually do that. I mean, I do know, I understand how the petals will come back and how they could make them break in soft tissue, but not to break on hard surfaces is pretty remarkable. The round is only 96 grains, and we did actually do a couple more chrono tests off of camera. Like I said, a couple of cameras failed on us. Their claims of 1,250 feet per second are pretty dead on. We were getting consistently 1240s and 1250s. So that is a pretty true statement as far as velocity. They are 96 grains. Now you'll see in the gel testing that one of the rounds actually blew completely through the FBI block, which is 16 inches. It's 6 by 6 by 16. One of the solid copper shafts actually did stay in the gel. We got the same results from the regular hollow points that we shot. One of them did exit through, and one of them stayed in the gel. So the claims of over penetration by some other people that on my page have actually told me that it over penetrates that have never tested the ammo. I haven't noticed that yet. We're going to do some better tests. We're going to actually do some denim tests and some cloth and clothing tests just to see if it does penetrate more than some of the other hollow points that are on the market. So like I said, stay tuned for some of that testing. But all in all, I really don't know what to make of the ammo. Is it truly the last round you'll ever need, like stated on the box? No, I don't think so. I don't think it's the last round you'll ever need. And I'll tell you a couple reasons why. The ammo does seem to perform pretty well, especially on soft tissue, which is, basically what the round was meant to do. But the standard hollow points seem to perform really well too. Now I do have to say it's very impressive, the wound cavity that we've seen, especially in the pork shoulder that we did, that it did kind of look like that it cut through the bone and made a devastating wound in that pork shoulder. The other hollow point made a pretty nice wound, but there was a clear difference in the wound from the R2 ammo, or the G2 R.I.P ammo. Now, number one, it is exuberantly expensive. The claims of, the cheapest you will ever find is $44. That's as cheap as it can be sold. But you're going to pay about 50 or 60 bucks of bucks of 20 if you do find it from a retailer. Now, if you can't find it at the retailer, I have seen these go for boxes of 20, and they actually sold for $250 to $280 on GunBroker. No way I would ever pay that for these. I'm sorry. I mean, they're great. They seem to be a great defensive round, but I would never pay that. The other issue I have with these is, if you're going to carry these in a defensive EDC handgun, and there's kind of some arguments about this, is the liability involved. These rounds are marketed as, you know, such killer rounds and to cause such damage that if you had to use these in a defensive shooting, you know, the prosecutor is going to have a field day in court, you know, saying, why did he carry a round to do so much devastating damage, blah, blah, blah. Whether you think that's true or not, that's the job of a prosecutor. They're there to make you look bad, and they're going to use any avenue they can to do that. So whether you want to carry these is entirely up to you. I would never carry these in my EDC gun. That's just my thoughts. You do what you wish. I've had this argument with several other people. They're usually guys that are half my age that I've been doing this longer than they've been alive. So, you know, whether you take my opinion and kind of see that this would be used against you in court, whether or not you got prosecuted and convicted, or I mean not prosecuted but convicted because of that, probably not. But they are going to use it to their advantage. So that's two of the things that I can't get over the price and the liability of this. If you remember back to the Black Talons, those were pulled by the manufacturer because the marketing that they used, these were, you know, they marketed them as such a devastating round, and they pulled them off the market because they seen that this was going to be used against them. And they do currently have a round out now that is the exact same round. It just doesn't have the little black Teflon coating or whatever it was. So, I mean, it's entirely up to you. It is a nice round, guys. It does do some of the things claimed by the manufacturer. We're still going to do some more testing on it. It is a very cool round. I mean, CNC'd, full copper bullet. It's pretty neat. It's, in my opinion, it's just kind of a novelty. I'll continue to carry the gold dots that I normally carry. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's kind of a long video, but hey, I mean, it was a fun time. We were out testing ammo, shooting guns all day. So I know you guys enjoy that. I enjoy that. So, you know, please, you know, give us a thumbs up, like the video, share it, and please subscribe to our channel, guys. We really do appreciate it. And remember, like always, tactical is not just a word, it's a lifestyle and a mindset. Thanks for watching, everybody.